This story happened. We saw the story yesterday. I don't think we covered it, but I figure we'll talk about it today. Amazon fixes Alexa error after devices give different answers on Harris and Trump. So if you didn't see the story, there were a bunch of people. I saw a couple videos where a woman says to their device, I'm not going to say the name, give me a reason to vote for Donald Trump. And then the device says, I cannot provide reasons to support one party over the other. Then says, give me reasons to support Kamala Harris. And he goes, well, Kamala Harris has overcome so much as a woman of color. So this is a huge scandal. And we know who works at these companies. We know their political intentions. We know why they do what they do. We know what they want. The federal government, the intelligence agencies had backdoors into Facebook and Twitter, and the machine is breaking apart. That's the important thing in this story. We're not supposed to be able to see this. They're supposed to keep them, like you mentioned Eric Weinstein, the magician's choice is supposed to be maintained, but they can't. And so I look at this. Look, if you're an all-powerful deep state and you've got everyone controlled to a great degree and no one can break through the machine, then I don't know who dares compete or try to take that machine down. That's not where we're at right now. The machine is failing in every direction. We can see these things happening and then go, what is this? And they panic. If they are unable to maintain this machine, they don't deserve to. So it's time for change. And I think the scary thing is it's a cornered beast that is wheezing and dying of old age, and it's going to lash out violently at anyone who gets near it.
I think Harris should be embarrassed that the first thing that Alexa or like the robots or whatever powers that be could come up with as a reason to support her is her race and her gender. Like no actual accomplishments, just inherent qualities the way she was born. That should be kind of insulting. Like that's the best they could come up with.
I think that's actually let's play it.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
Wow. That was a better answer than any of her voters could ever give.
Or she herself, It's rough times for her.
Yeah, I don't think she could give an answer that good.
I didn't test that out, but that's crazy.
Really, Joe Biden broke down that barrier, by the way. He selected the first female vice president. She just happened to be the one. He had a whole list of women, from what I understand. No one's giving him any credit for that right now. I'm obviously joking.
They should have had a primary. The Democrats should have had a primary.
Yeah, of course they should have. But, Kamala Harris wouldn't have won. So this is what we had to do. I think she's deeply unpopular. And I think the Democratic Party doesn't have a strong bench of talent right now. And they were at odds with the Biden machine, who didn't want to leave office. And in the end, there was no way around. There was no way he could win the election. So they, drop Kamala Harris in and just hope everyone goes along with it. And I think you're starting to see that it's not enough.
Sadly to me, it seems like politics just isn't that interesting of a career anymore. And, talent goes where the money is. And there's just not much. There's more exciting things to do in life than politics. So like all the brains are going to other places, and that's why you got the situation you got. Not just with the Democrats, really on both sides. There's not a lot of brains.
Kind of good though. You want people that have already succeeded in their private lives to come do politics later in life. I think it's a lot better than getting like a 23-year-old or 27-year-old nobody. No offense, AOC, but like she didn't really make a business and like govern a company and like through merit. She just got voted in as a popularity contest. You got voted in for a popularity contest, and now it's like, are you going to do politics for 50 years? Like, what's your real contribution to society other than talking a lot?
I would argue she's probably one of the biggest brains. She actually has a skill set. She's a great talker. She's a great communicator. So, she's one of the biggest brains they got, which, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. But, she's indicative of, the biggest brain maybe you got in politics. Outside from Donald Trump's probably the most vetted person. And, it's a once-in-a-life opportunity to have a guy with his level of vetting, plus Elon Musk, plus all these other, highly intelligent people that want to get involved in this next administration. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Personally, I do like AOC a lot. Like, I I would enjoy her presence, and I'm glad that we have intelligent people working. I just, speaking from my own experience, I don't have enough self-confidence to run for office because I haven't done anything worthwhile with my life.
I didn't mean that I just meant like she's indicative of maybe the highest IQ people that are going for politics right now.
I think she did change a tone in politics. Like one of the first articles I read about her was about the fact that she was doing her skincare routine on the train from New York to DC on her Instagram, where she has a lot of followers. I mean, she is indicative of someone who realized the importance of social media and really built a brand from herself for that, because there are a lot of people who don't watch the news, but they do scroll Instagram. And so to be able to connect with them on that level is interesting. It gives her influence. And I don't think that was just an accident. I think you're right. That is a strategic, she obviously saw value in it that maybe an older politician wouldn't have. I think there are always going to be personality types that are drawn to government. I mean, that was true from America's founding. And I think we're glad that George Washington decided that was the path he wanted to go. But I think there's a difference between people who have a balanced life. Like if you're obsessed with one thing and that's all you do, are you able to effectively negotiate different laws and bills? Do you have counsel? Do you have life experience that can say, hey, this is why this deal would work out? Or, do you really know the lives your constituents are living if you've been in politics for decades? You might be kind of out of touch at that point. So I understand
Washington. He spent time with the people, with the troops. He served the British Army. He served the American Army. He didn't say, "Put me in charge, guys." He was
a
just
surveyor.
there,
He had
present.
armor. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and so they put him in charge because he was the best at what he did. He didn't seek it. He didn't want it. He didn't like political parties. You could see the danger of people falling into these cults of political parties. He didn't want to be king. He wanted a just, organized system, and he was going to do whatever it took in the private sector. And when they begged him to take the role on the political realm, he did it because you have what else are you going to do? Say no and watch it all burn? Of course you do it. But we need people like that. People like, I like that about that guy. Businessmen, businessmen, not popularity contests. I don't like and of course you can buy popularity with your business money.
That's all it is.
Maybe.
That's all it is. And so the Democrat play is everybody votes no matter what. And you've even got Australia. I think the stupidest thing in the world is mandatory voting. That's the stupidest thing in the world. People who don't know what they're voting on voting, why would you want that? Unless your goal is just to manipulate the system. We want voting to be harder.
Yeah, reasonably challenging to the point where you need to want it.
Yeah, just make the ballots blank.
Like you have to write in a name?
Yep.
So you have to know who's there?
Yep.
That's a cool idea.
That's the only way to do it. And if you spell the name wrong, your vote don't count.
So it's a literacy test combined. Nice.
Yep. Absolutely.
That might be a
problem. There's this the problem with what?
Because not everyone can read and write perfect.
Then they definitely shouldn't be voting, right?
Well, I don't know, because they might be contributing to their community in a really solid way, but they just never really learned the magic of language.
Voting is a very, very dangerous thing. And I can't remember who said this. It might have been Mike Rowe. Voting is more dangerous than owning a gun. Voting can, put a Stalin or a Hitler in power. Well, not Stalin, but that didn't happen that way. But voting can put very dangerous people in power. It can put in tyrants and dictators. So I think it's you wouldn't give. Here's a question for you. This is a real question. Should blind people be allowed to keep and bear arms and utilize them?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you think? Should blind people be allowed to keep and bear arms and use them? Strapped, concealed, open carry, walking on the street with an AR-15.
I don't know. I would default to yes, because the Constitution doesn't have a caveat that says except for you people. On the other hand, I don't know. It's like the Paralympics are going on right now, and the rule, there's blind soccer where there's no noise or whatever, but they can still play. I don't really know what someone is capable of, so therefore I default to, of course, you should have the right to.
Blind soccer or deaf soccer? Because you said no noise.
It's blind, so they can hear the ball.
Right, so it's super quiet.
Oh, awesome.
Right, and so that is a difficult question. I think because of the Constitution, the answer is anyone. The Constitution does not say people who are disabled aren't allowed to keep and bear arms. The question then is, what happens if someone who is blind is legitimately trying to defend themselves? Well, the margin of error in that regard is going to be substantially higher than a person who could see.
You have to treat them with equal recourse
That's
under the law.
equality under the law. So when I look at voting, the important thing to understand is that some people are going to be like a blind man with a gun shooting at a perceived threat that they can't see. The difference is voting is not a right. Voting is a privilege. Voting is not guaranteed in the Constitution. You can have your voting taken away, all of these things. And voting is substantially more dangerous. But there's, an argument to be made, I suppose. If someone couldn't read or write, then perhaps you would have a witness who comes in and swears under oath to, vote on your behalf correctly or whatever, and it's a witness you choose that you trust.
If you could say it to the machine and the machine writes the name on the paper for you, because then at least you're acknowledging the person's name that you want to vote for.
I don't trust that, because a person who couldn't read or write would then have the machine, they would say Donald Trump, and it would go Kamala Harris, and they'd go, yeah.
Yeah, well, that'd be a problem. But assuming that it was a working
witness that they brought in on their behalf is someone they trust and they've chosen themselves. But I got to be honest, I have no issue, none whatsoever. And it's the liberals and the left are going to be like, but that's wrong. It's ableist. I don't care. Like, voting should not be something anybody can just do. It's dangerous. And we have a country now where Democrats are like, everyone should vote no matter what. And I'm like, why? Explain to me why someone who has no idea what's going on in politics should have a say in how we are dealing with war, conflict, crisis, spending, etc.
I'll tell you, I don't vote unless I know what I'm voting for, ever. I will abstain from the vote unless I know what I'm voting. I said that at a restaurant one time, and all the people got silent around me at all these other tables when I said it. I said it loudly to the person I was at dinner with, and they were all
maybe
like,
they just got silent. So like, why is this guy yelling?
They were it made a lot of, it made a crashing amount of sense.
To announce it so she can copy.
And it was like, pal, I didn't expect people to
President Trump?
get shocked in silence from hearing someone say that, but it's true. I will not vote for unless I understand what I'm voting on, ever.
Are you a voter? Do you like to?
I vote. I started voting in 2016, believe it or not. But, I don't mind stupid people voting. I think my big issue is the lack of sensible conversation around the mail-in votes, because it's been, just illogical conversation on both sides, really, with, some people want it to go crazy with it. And, to be honest, the Republicans and even Trump don't explain the counter argument correctly. The big issue with it is it guarantees voter intimidation. And so I'd rather stupid people vote in person and we get rid of mail-in ballots, because it just guarantees voter intimidation. And it's very easy for people to go around saying, sign here, vote for this person, or I'm not going to be your friend, I'm not going to, be your girlfriend anymore, your boyfriend anymore, whatever the case may be. It's guaranteed voter intimidation if you got the mail-ins, and nobody says that. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that. Maybe that's the reason I'm the only person saying it, but I think I'm right.
Well, secret ballots is important.
Exactly. There was this whole thing about the sanctity of the secret ballot. You can't intimidate voters at the polls, but if you do mail-in voting, it's as much voter intimidation as you want in your households, or in your apartment complexes, or wherever the voting happens. It's as much intimidation as you want. It's unlimited voter intimidation. But supposedly you're supposed to be secret ballot, no voter intimidation. But maybe I'm wrong in saying this, because I don't know. Do other people talk about this issue?
I think people are concerned about coercion with voting, or like misrepresentation of.
I just hear mail-in votes fraud, but even Trump has never said, there's a big problem with. I think it would make more sense, because he says mail-in votes fraud, and some people don't understand the fraud thing because they can't picture it. But anyone can imagine very easily that certain couples are going to argue with each other and force each other to vote a certain way. Certain friends are going to force each other to vote a certain way or get ostracized, and people are going to go around rounding up votes via intimidation. And that could happen in either direction, but we don't want intimidation. So I'd rather have stupid people voting at the ballot box than people going around intimidating each other, which is what happens with mail-ins.
Someone commented saying to me that smart people can also be evil and vote. Indeed. The problem is the evil smart people are going to the stupid people and trying to convince them all to vote to overwhelm the interests of the dutiful citizen. So there are a lot of people that want to vote. Let's go back in time. And they're small community and they're voting on their interests. Mm-hmm. Then you get, let's put it this way. You get a town of 100 people. And a fat cat comes in and says, I want to drill for oil, but we're going to have to trench through your aquifer, which will destroy your town's water supply. And the people are like, well, we won't let you do that. That will destroy our town, and we all vote against you. And he gets mad. He says, okay, I got an idea. So the rich guy starts moving in low information people who don't know and don't care and promising them free things. These people then voting against the interests of the people who live in this town. Eventually, there's 100 new people who just moved in. They don't know, they don't care. And the rich guy comes in and says, I'm going to give each of you $100 if you, as part of my initiative to build this company, I will buy you out. And they all go, wow, $100. That's a good idea. So then they vote for it. The original people who live there are shocked. Then he says, that's democracy. And the stupid people vote to have the water supply for the city destroyed. And then the town becomes a ghost town in 10 years. That you need people who are well-informed and understand what's going on to vote. You can't just say, well, smart people are evil. I doubt the person who lives, how come there are no supervillains, right? Like in the comic books, you got to say, I'm going to blow up the earth. He wants to melt the ice caps and destroy everything because they live here. So the supervillains on this planet are actually trying to do things like gain access to resources so they can live more comfortable lives, not blow the planet up. But why not? Because they live here.
Not necessarily. You got miserable people that want more misery.
It is true, but they're few and far between.
Yeah.
The people of means, like if you look at all the wealthiest people in the world, what do? They buy massive yachts. They buy private islands. They want to live in comfort. And they want control. Maybe they don't care if people die. But the more people they have under their control, the more things they get, the more luxury they can have. They can have Wagyu cows on their island or whatever and then build an underground bunker. But you need people to do the work for you. So
I've been saying for a while that the whole tech situation, people don't understand. It's revenge of the nerds. These were people that were bullied the whole time in life. And now that they got power, they are supervillains in a way. But, maybe I'm wrong.
I feel the darkness within me in that.
You might be a supervillain.
But what are they compelled
bullied.
to do because they were bullied? Like,
bully the Trump voters and use whatever they can to beat the, by and large, let's be honest, there's a stereotype that Trump voters are, I don't know. There was even a girl at the DNC saying she likes Republicans. They're more attractive. They get more girls. They have more fun, whatever people might say.
And now it's entertained.
It's not true. And, it's revenge of the nerds in tech. These are guys that by and large didn't have fun childhoods. And that's unfortunate. I don't like bullying. I don't like that these guys got bullied. But, it's their moment in the sun. And they took their rage out on the Trump people through their
so how does that manifest in voting? Trump will say, we have to secure our border. We have to get a better trade agreement. That's the truth. And then the evil people will look at all the masses and say, I'll pay off your loans for you. And they go, cool. I don't care at all what Trump's talking about. Free money. And then they vote for the bad guy. Mm-hmm. So when stupid people are, that's why I'm saying the voting thing is not about trying to stop stupid people. That's not the point. The point is there has to be some effort involved where you decide you're going to vote. Universal mail-in voting breaks that down. And now you've got people going door to door and saying, hey, fill that out for me. And they go, oh, okay, I guess. And they don't even know what they're voting for or why. You've completely removed the process of voting from the voting process. Now it's literally just how many pieces of paper can you collect?
No, if I had nothing to do all day, I could walk around and round up, hundreds of votes if I wanted to through the mail-in system. But, I got other things to do. But there are people in life that, clearly don't have things to do all day, and they go and do that. So
the right is telling people the truth and saying it's going to be hard, but we have to do this or we're in trouble. And the Democrats are saying they're lying to you. I'll pay off your loans. I'll give you free money. So stupid people just say, give me the free money. I don't care. But if you try to go to these people and say you realize that's going to cause hyperinflation, it's going to damage the economy, minimum wage increases result in layoffs and businesses closing, they just say, I don't care, man. They gave me free money. I went and bought a PlayStation. Okay, I guess.
I'm going to defend it. I don't think there's as many of those people as you think. I think it's by and large with the mail-in votes, people that are just signing things. They don't know why they're signing them, And,
exactly.
And it's not even as much of it. Most people are actually pretty smart. Even like I run a manufacturing company, and I love being in the factories. I love factory workers. I don't hang out with business people. People always ask me who I know in the business world. I know almost nobody. But, factory people are very bright, very intelligent. And, I don't think there's so many of those people that are voting for the free money. I think it's by and large the issues of the mail-in votes. People are just signing, here, sign this.
But that's exactly my point.
Okay, so we got the same point, but yeah, exactly.
Right. So Democrats can go to someone who has no idea what's going on and say, just fill it out. And they go, okay.
Yeah.
And then Trump supporters are desperately trying to say, our country is in trouble. And the Democrats are like, don't listen to them. They're Russian. They're liars. And the other people go, okay. And then you get these moderate podcaster types or these liberals on X too, who've maintained this for a decade, being like, both sides are bad. And then the Democrats say, but they're lying about everything.
How'd you get into what you do?
Me, just my co-founder, 72 years old, and I saw this company called the Base Camp. It was a famous company at the time. Everyone wanted to be like them, and I was just BSing about starting an internet company. And my co-founder moves really quickly. I BS with him. He never used a computer before, and he said, what the hell do people do on the internet? And I showed him, and believe it or not, he's a brilliant guy. And he said, I went home, Anthony, and And he came and saw me the next morning. He said, Anthony, I went home, I drank a bottle of vodka, and I decided we need to start a company together. He said, but you got to decide today if you want to do it or not.
Great way to make business decisions.
Yeah, he said, you got to decide today if you want to do it or not. And I said, I don't know, give me some, can I get a little while to think about it? He said word for word. He said, no, Anthony, you showed me the internet last night. You're 5 years too late. We got to get started right now. And so, I agreed to do it. I didn't even know what we were going to sell. Just let's get a company started. And so, one of my number one principles in life ever since that, is move quickly.
Yeah.
And so, we had that conversation. We launched Sticker Mule 3 months later, and now it's 14 years later. We got 1,200 people.
How did you decide on stickers or like what you're doing?
We went to hire programmers. It turns out they ended up being fairly. They liked us at the time. I don't know if they still like me if they're listening right now. They're far left guys, but I really like them. But we went and found these programmers, and we said, "Geez, we want to hire you. We're going to start an internet company." And they said to me, the guy actually had a phone number on his website back then, and he got acquired by First Data for a lot of money. But he said to me, what do you guys want to sell? We said, we don't know yet. And he said, well, what's your budget? And we said, we don't know that. And my co-founder, you could tell he was older. He said, we've never been on the internet before, and we hope you could advise us as to what that would cost. And the guy said, listen, I don't mean to be weird, but the internet's hot right now, and I get a lot of weirdos calling. You guys sound like a bunch of weirdos, so I can't work with you. And the guy looked at me, and my co-founder looked at me, and I said, well, we could spend $100,000. And he said, I'm in DC. You can come next week. And so I went and saw him next week, and I'll give him a lot of credit. He only charged me $50,000. He built the site, and I ended up stealing his 2 top developers. They came to work for me after that, but I think he still likes me. Hopefully he does. But anyways, we started. Yeah, we launched 3 months later, and he said, I want to work with you guys. I like you guys, but could you please figure out what the hell you want to sell? So. And
then you were just like.
We went home and we just started. I liked comedy and funny things, and I thought animals are funny, so I just word animal, whatever the case may be, and I don't know, ended up being Sticker Mule.
And then was it just a good overhead, stickers?
It was fairly inexpensive to get into, we did it, it was fairly inexpensive to get into stickers. We looked at buttons too, it was like we looked at buttons, but yeah, it's fairly very inexpensive at the time to get into stickers. It still is. That's why there's a lot of competitors, but most of them, get dozens of orders a day, and we get a little bit more than a dozen orders a day, yeah, it was very inexpensive to get into, and then we got lucky. Some weird tech company stumbled upon us. I actually found them on Twitter, so I do owe Twitter a debt of gratitude. And we found this massive company on Twitter, and they wanted to buy stickers. They were buying $500,000 $1 million worth of stickers a year. So this company ended up going bankrupt. I think they bought so much stickers from us. Yeah, it was wacky. They wanted to replace Nielsen, so there was a tech company called Get Glue, and they wanted to replace Nielsen's, and you would check in to say you watch a show, and you would win a sticker. And they started, and it scaled so quickly. They went from shipping like 20 orders a day to like within a few months they were shipping out like 5,000 orders a day of stickers, and their annual spend shot up to like $1 million a year. And then they calmed it down around $500,000 a year, and they ran through all their money, and they went bankrupt. And they transferred us about a few $1 million in capital to fund the beginning of Sticker Mill. So I don't know where these guys are in life, but I owe them a debt of gratitude too. They funded our early years and paid for all our equipment and software developers and whatnot. And now we got 100 engineers, and we're doing a lot of cool things.
Did you guys look into doing NFTs?
People ask about that. I don't even know what the heck NFTs are. I don't even know what crypto is or any of this stuff. I didn't even know what social media was. Like, I wouldn't go on social for the first 10 years. I feel like you're
the opposite of NFTs. NFTs are like
in the
internet, but you guys are actually ultimately producing a physical product.
Yeah, we're printing things. Yeah, people want to turn NFTs into stickers, I guess. I don't know what these things are. I'm old school. Like I'm like a guy from, I don't know, people say from, that, this is kind of why I like Trump. My co-founder's in his 80s. My dad had me very late in life. He died when I was 8, but, my dad would be over 100 if he was alive today. So I'm sort of, I don't know, an old school person. I don't really got a lot in common with most of the tech world and whatnot, which is, I think, why maybe I see the value in Trump that a lot of these guys don't necessarily see.
You could do like barcodes on your stickers, like a print run of 1,000 with unique barcodes, and each one gives
believe
you
it or not,
access
that's
to
a
an
top
NFT.
request. We never did, sequential, whatever you call it, sequential number.
They're all fungible then, yeah.
Yeah, we don't do all that. One day we could do it if we wanted to invest the time to figure out how to do it. But our big thing right now, and like maybe we'll get you guys on at the end of the day, we got Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and Don Jr. Mike Tyson's joining, and we got a stores platform now. So we built our whole company, 1,200 people. Just you come to us, you buy whatever you want. And, we ship it out. But now anything you bought from us, you can sell through us. So you can have stores. We're in beta right now. 9,000 people launch stores. Our biggest seller is not Don Jr. It's a guy named Ricky Berwick, who I don't know if people know him.
Yeah, of course.
He's hysterical. He's coming to hang out with us this weekend.
Comedian.
Yeah, he's really funny. In fact, you're talking about breaking ground with Kamala being the first female, whatever. But I actually broke ground. I fired myself 2 weeks ago and made Ricky Berwick the CEO of Sticker Mill. So, I broke ground the first time. A disabled person and from Canada. No, I think first time a disabled person was CEO of a major tech company. I guess I don't know if you can call us a major tech company. I do, but
it's very inclusive of you.
What is his disability?
I don't know what it is.
If
per
it's
se.
private, I don't care.
He's
No, just watch his videos and
you'll get a look him up. I would say rather than me going and explaining it,
cool.
but
Ricky,
you got to look him up. He's an incredible comedian. If you guys never met him, he's incredible to me, and he does all his jokes on the fly. In fact, I got in trouble he's been selling these R-word passes. I won't say the word anymore because I said it and I got in trouble. It's our number one seller, R-word passes. You're not allowed to say that anymore. But that's his number one. Yeah, look him up right now. But
does he do what?
He does all these skits, and he came and visited us, and he was banging out 5 skits a day, and he writes all the jokes himself, and he does all his own. He's hysterical on Twitter, replying to people and whatnot.
Oh, I know Ricky, dude. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
He's a really great comedian.
That's awesome, dude.
Good act. He's a good actor too. He's giving me act. I never acted before. I never done any of this stuff before. So,
So what are you doing now that you're fired? Like you fired yourself?
Well, I got rehired. Now I guess we're co-CEO. We're going to take turns every other week. That actually was a tabloid star too because of this. Because I got fired, and people thought I really got fired. I mean, maybe I did really get fired. It's like
you have to ask yourself at some
I'm not sure. No one really knows, if I got fired, if I didn't get fired. But yeah, the Sun, it was probably one of the funniest articles ever written about a tech company. Was me getting fired and replaced with Ricky Berwick. Believe it or not, I had this very far. He was a nice guy. I did a Spaces with him. I let him interview me live in front of whatever number of people wanted to hear it. And this liberal. Not that there's a problem with that because I got I like all people, but he took it so seriously. He was just like he couldn't for the life of him understand it. It was a joke. Or why.
And was this after you sent the email saying like people shouldn't freak out at Trump supporters?
Yeah, I did that, and then Ricky came and fired me, and then we installed Ricky as the CEO, which was people thought, and then the Trump people got mad at me, and they said how they didn't get mad at me, they got mad at the company, they got mad at all my employees for firing me because how dare they fire a Trump supporting CEO, but I don't know, it was too funny not to do it, so it was.
Are you just on the board, like is the president of the board or something?
We made a video, and the video went sort of viral, like Ricky coming in on his wheelchair, and me getting fired, and he just came out with white label hot sauce. So yeah, he wheeled in to the thing, and his handler said, "Ricky, you just been fired, and they just fired Anthony Constantino, the CEO of Sticker Mill, and they voted you in as the new CEO. What do you want to do first?" And he looked at the thing and he said, "Name the fucking hot sauce after me." I'm sorry, I don't know if I could swear.
Yeah, well, that was a good joke.
And then we came out with white label hot sauce, Ricky Berwick sauce being our number one seller. But maybe we'll get Tim Pool sauce soon. We got some in the other
with the same company. Sticker Mill does.
Yeah, we make hot sauce. So yeah, this is we like comedy, so we started selling hot sauce. We got we actually have one blind taste test against 270 other hot sauces.
I wish I'd known.
We started selling it as a joke. People said it would be funny if you sold hot sauce. I said it's only funny if it's the best one. So we got the internet's best hot sauce. It was called mule sauce, but now it's called whatever you want to call it. You can call it Ricky Berwick sauce or Tim Pool sauce or Don Jr. spicy sauce or whatever, Trump sauce, whatever you want to call it.
I need some Tim Pool sauce. I'll tell you that
I think
much.
so, yeah.
I wanted some hot sauce earlier today. Couldn't find any.
Can you make the sauce black and call it graphene sauce?
Not yet.
Then Ian would be.
But it's coming.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.